serious terminology change for female students in Wisconsin. A Seattle Times columnist gets under the skin of progressive readers and the real truth about a University of Washington transgender study. It's a lot there to tackle in tonight's lightning round, but we've got KTTH Seattle talk radio host Jason Rantz to do just that. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Shannon.
Okay, so here is your, well, this is one of the headlines, not your headline. We'll get to your headlines. One of the headlines was gender-affirming care reduced depression in 60% of teens in University of Washington study. You had a different headline after you dug into the data. What'd you find?
Yeah, I found that, number one, that definitely is not what the study said. And number two, that reporting is based on a press release that the University of Washington Medical Center put out that was inaccurate. And it was so inaccurate that they ended up having to edit out some substantial claims that were made. The problem was, and I found this in some emails from some staff members there, they didn't want to proactively even talk about it. They were reluctant to do any corrections at all because they were enamored with the positive coverage that this study got. And I think part of the reason why is because they wanted the study results as reported to be true. I don't think they lied initially, but they definitely made it as a concerted effort to not proactively correct the record.
Okay, so that headline then you're saying, according to the data that you reviewed, was not accurate.
The data is not accurate. It definitely does not. They originally said that depression rates plummeted as a result of gender-affirming care. The data does not say that at all.
Okay, interesting. We do have some of the emails, and we can put those out on social media so people can see them as well. Also, there is something going on in Wauwatosa, if I'm getting that right. Their new school sex ed curriculum has been approved. Here's part of what it says. This is from Fox 6. It says the third grade lesson plan says you might feel like you're a girl, even if you have body parts that some people might tell you are boy parts. And you might be a girl, but you're a little bit of both. What else did you find in these lesson plans?
Well, apparently you're supposed to refer to girls or women as a person with a vulva. So what is a person with a vulva? It's a woman. So they're either getting paid by the word or they're erasing women by trying to get rid of the term and then training kids to believe that there's no such thing as gender, that everyone is fluid and that identity is more important than a biological fact. And pay attention, folks, to where this is happening. It's happening in a city that I've never heard of. It's a small city. So this isn't relegated to New York, LA, Seattle, Portland. This is happening all over the place. And this should be a wake-up call for parents to get more involved.
Well, and many of them have, as we've seen. Daily Caller talked to a parent about this, and she says a lot of parents just don't even understand what's happening. They just feel like they're in the twilight zone. Then they're afraid to offend the gay community because the woke fixation on drag queens performing for children and the sudden increase in gender confusion among preteen girls has been aligned, they say, with gays and lesbians, which I think is wrong. This is Scarlett Johnson. She's head of a group there, Moms for Liberty chapter, but she says, you know, parents are worried about getting this wrong. They don't want to offend people. They're just trying to figure it out for their kids.
Yeah, look, the truth of the matter is the majority of people who are pushing this stuff, it's not any member of the gay community. Member of the gay community, we are not offended by any of this stuff. We can actually acknowledge that there's a difference between men and women. This is not controversial. And sometimes I feel like I have to talk to these people like a kid. Isn't it weird that the educators, we have to say there are boy parts and there are girl parts?
Okay, and quickly, something going on in Seattle where a guy who's reporting on the crime spikes and those kinds of things is getting chastised as maybe portraying a picture that it's not flattering. If you can give us a quick comment on that.
Yeah, he happens to be a liberal columnist, and so, hey, welcome to Seattle. When you say anything that goes against the progressive activists' ideas or policies, they will attack you even if you're on their side. So this is a guy who is consistently liberal, but he's pointing out a reality. Seattle is in deep trouble, crime is through the roof, and we have to call it like we see it.
All right, Jason, you always call it like you see it, and you bring us very interesting stories to our attention. Great to see you, as always. Thank you so much.
Good to see you. Thank you.